The workup's in the cabinet's hands. But listen, I know I should have... So, in the interest of full disclosure, my relationship with the UC, I am a clone. They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated. The program I was a part of, it was to secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. No. They made a pretty grave miscalculation. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a Freestar Collective, and the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned. I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or, if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they are. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. Which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up. Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project... There's no need to be afraid of this data being... Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions. I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being Fleet Admiral to deal with kids. I was raised until his defeat during the Colony War, though. He was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. But Ve Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used the dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my trainings, and the eyes were my parting gift. Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you? Captain?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now. There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Stop! We're trying to help you!
What are you doing? EM fire, Captain! Come out!
Good shot!
That's it! Now hit him!
God you got here.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse. Or you could have used the EM gun like you were ordered. These are lives you're playing with here. So get... Now, the way those people were acting. I've seen this before.
I don't know. We'd tried to restrain them, get them on the train, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just...
Pheromonic projection. Some terramorphs, they can induce this. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control. Turn against You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire. And keep... Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please.
Yes? Bring me anything useful? Talk to you later.
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
Officer, are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more women. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
You might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. We're not afraid, but we'll stay here and hold the line if that's what you want. You're the ex- Roger that. We're on you.
Captain, how can I be of service, Captain? Travel safely.
Whatever you're experiencing right now, it's not real. We have to put down that form. Please help me.
Take cover! Fall back! There's another one! They're everywhere! That's the best you've got!
Where are you? Systems near total shutdown.
All sides! They're all around us! Fall back! Fall back!
Initiating combat!
Attention!
Take out the hostile!
All wrapped up. We should go check tell the sergeant what happened.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands. I have something I need to discuss with you. Something you need? Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to... When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your hand... No, I don't think you understand. I know about... How did you feel inside? Oh my goodness. But when it comes to the artifacts, it never ceases to amaze me. If there is, the artifacts are doing a... The artifacts are so different, so alien. And I'm certain one of them reached out and... Is there? After spending years gathering data about the artifact. Not much, I'm afraid. All I have to show for my efforts are eyewitness accounts, scores of... Frustrating? No. It would be... Oh, well... I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time. And I also wanted to say, well... Well, I suppose they're not going to need it anymore.
Thank the heavens you're back in one piece. Well, I guess our people weren't so lucky.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you.
The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
Those creatures killed UC citizens. They're not killing anymore.
Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the... As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. The Cabinet wants progress, and wants it quickly. You're already far more There's also no diplomat alive that can claim they helped keep a cadre of Terramorphs off the embassy doorsteps. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your... You should be able to find her in her office, and on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies.
You've got the Captain. Back to prevent more attacks.
I can go check in with Chief Engineer Coulson. Start putting a plan together for your thing.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Pardon.
boss what they're doing to stop new alien attacks on the city, he said.
Chief Yassine, these orders... A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct? It was a mutual agreement, but I suppose you touch on the spirit of it. So, you also know then that it was originally managed by the three... Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and require... UC, Freestar Collective. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince two people. The ambassadors of the... Get them both, and you'll have your data. But... It won't be. Both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun? Ah, the good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the colony. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to... And who knows? Maybe that'll work. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely... Said like you've done this. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself. So, if you are going to try and access the device... Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to... But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe... Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not... If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over.
Name's Cameron Long. He's younger than Ratcliffe. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for... and someone who very likely hates her. All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's... When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, he's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests. So they're claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself.
Well, these days, they're primarily considered House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the Great Serpent in the Sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations, but then, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his dude.
It does, but we're not 100% sure Balmore's actually... His public appearances were always rare, but it's been so... Scans of the facility show life signs, but...
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind.
It would at least be a speedier, but I, of course, hope you...
Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should... Here. This device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be... And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for... I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Be smart out there, Captain.
You've got something for me? Feel free to drop some stuff into my bag. So long. Yeah? Have something for me? I'll only carry... Bye for now. What can I help you with? Dropping off a few choice items? Bye.
Hey.
If you attempt to engage me in combat, I will be forced to detain you.
Looking up there, huh? Space.
Excuse me.
You buying? What's it gonna be? Yeah? All right. Well, bye.
Okay, hello.
In other news, on the lifeless planet of Vectera, a mining operation run by Argos extractors was attacked by the group.
Ah, crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good for morale. It's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, well, safety doesn't happen by accident. It takes... Hopefully the recent hires we've had will help solve it. The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take... Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is up and running. We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the space. Well, technology-wise, criminals have always been one step ahead. No different now than it was. Smugglers often have a fancy shielding or scan jammers that allow them to evade the checks. But luckily, we can still use old-fashioned... Great. First, speak to one of them. Ask them if they've noticed any. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over to Aegis. When you're done, report back. There should be a few working on the landing pads. If they don't know it, right now, we don't have any good leads. But if anyone's seen anything, you'll... Remember that job you did for Agent Plato? I finally had a reason to call. I asked him to pull the names and cargo of every potential smuggling ship that... He said he'll have a slate ready for you to examine. See you later.
Please have a pleasant day.
People joke. Say those Varun zealots worship a snake.
Yeah, what is it? If you have any gear, I'd be happy. Want to see what I'm... Glad to haul whatever you need. Let's see what you've got. Okay. Hey. Want to see what I'm carrying? Until later. I'm listening. If you have any gear you want me to haul. Bye-bye.
Captain, do you require my assistance?
Getting off right away, or do you need a little bit of time? Oh, hi, Sam. Sarah, please. Good work dealing with those merchants in Freestar Space.
Oh, yeah? And...
What? I read your report. They sent thanks. Good job.
good job? That's it?
Yes.
Oh. Right. You're welcome.
Hello.
We're taking supplies to New Homestead. We don't have anything valuable. Something I can do for you? Can't say I have. When you work a job like this, you see so many ships. They all sort of blend together. Look, I'm just a port worker. My whole life would fit into one of these boxes. I've got nothing to... Now, if you don't mind, I got work to...
about time. I've been telling my supervisor about that cargo ship for ages. That's the problem. I don't really look at the ship names when I work, just the ID number granted for clearance. I think it was UC576. It's the way the crew handled the cargo. They were being way... The manifest said they were carrying potatoes. I don't know what was in those crates, but it certainly wasn't that. Right, back to it.
As you enter the city, please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
I have a feeling today's going to be a great day. Don't you agree? I wonder if I'll miss New Atlantis when Tony and I leave. Oh, hi there. I'm doing great. Glad to hear it. Yeah, life is good, isn't it? I've been trying to save up enough money so that I can go explore the settled systems with my boyfriend. I think we're finally getting... Not too bad. Found a box of pens the other day. You'd be amazed at what people leave lying around. Tony and I want to see what else is out there. I love my job, but there has to be more to life than just be... What about you? Have you gone... That's amazing. One day you'll have to tell me and Tony all about them. Really? Well, I guess you're right. I really love my job, but it's hard work and long hours. I could definitely use the Terracino from... No worries at all. I was just thinking of... Well, you know, it's one of those days where... I wonder if my boyfriend will take me to chill. Well, that depends. You should check out the commercial district. There's some cool shops. And if you want a whole new look, there's even an enhance. Take care of yourself.
Sarah.
Здорово, да, слушаю. Блин, настроился пропадание чата быстрее, чем нужно. Смотрю, в итоге нифига не успел прочитать. Скажи мне, в этой игре можно не исследовать собственный корабль, походить по нему. Там кастомизация какая-нибудь. Да, можно. Без проблем. У тебя корабль с интерьером полностью. Причем у тебя могут быть разные корабли. Причем у тебя может быть даже корабль собственной конструкции, насколько я понимаю. То есть ты можешь сделать типа свой корабль из определенных модулей, скажем так. И я еще до этого момента не дошел, но судя по тому, что это все есть, то есть ты даже можешь ходить по кораблю, который ты сам, собственно, сделал. То есть там будут те условно отсеки, те комнаты, которые ты сам типа к нему приделал. Вот. Ну, внутри корабля именно уже готовые отсеки, я не знаю, я вроде не видел кастомизации пока. То есть, чтобы там именно можно уже было в готовом корабле что-то поменять именно внутри готового отсека. Такого не видел, но вот именно что ходить внутри и даже построить свой корабль, это прям можно. Это пожалуйста.
Captain. Congratulations. On joining me.
I hope the security of the United Colonies is every citizen's responsibility. But we try and do the bulk of the work. That I do, Captain. Sergeant Yumi said you'd be coming. You've got good timing, too. I actually have a friend on a classified star station who sent me this list of potential smugglers the other day. Here you are. Given I owe you for the last job, Yep. Every ship on that list has a route that goes through New Atlantis. Not surprising. And if they're smuggling stuff there, you can bet your ass they're smuggling. That's right. Classified station, top secret projects, etc. Nothing you need to be concerned with at the moment, Captain. Keep your eyes open.
How's the investigation going? No major hiccups, I hope? Found those smugglers yet? Is that right? Do you know the name by any chance? Of course. Found those smugglers yet? Is that right? See you later. Then? How's the investigation going? Is that right? Do you know the name by any chance? Ah, that's Captain Dayu's ship. Are you sure about that? I thought she dealt mostly in exports. All right. Of course. Found those smugglers yet? Is that right? Do you know Captain Njai's ship? I think you might. You had reports of their crew being less than professional on several occasions. Still, being a little rough around the edges isn't exactly a crime. Then the next step is searching their cargo for any smuggled And, as luck would have it, I believe I'll make the call to have the ship detained until further notice. Your job is to board the ship, locate any illicit, and if any of the crew puts up a fight, I trust you know what to do.
Even
Good to be back on board.
The people of New Homestead need these supplies. Looking for something?
What?
Well, it looks like you got me, officer. I guess this means my potato shipping days are numbered. But maybe you'd be willing to give a first-time offender a slap on the carpal bone. I don't suppose you're interested in a deal? Fine. You've made your choice. But now, you'll have to pay for it. Big mistake.
Score another point for our side. If you're searching, then make it quick.
I know you're still here. Now I got you.
How's the investigation going? Good work. Very well done, Captain. Initially, I felt bad for having someone of your rank doing security, but in any case, I'll have a team move the ship off the landing pad and do a full sweep. Oh, and before I forget, after that business with the Terramorph, it's good to get back to good timing. We just got word of a disturbance over by the Knot in the Embassy District. I've already dispatched an officer to the site, but talk to the officer, get an update. Thank you. Normally I wouldn't waste your time with this, Captain, but a functionary over at... He'll be thrilled to know that a captain of the Vanguard... Never. This isn't Neon. I'm sure that... But when something like that happens here... That would be Officer Noita Markkinen. She's one of the recruits that joined up. A lot of newer officers look up to you. I bet you'll get a kick out of work. Functionary Gershon. Nice guy. But lately, he's also taken an interest in reporting petty crime, which means I get... Still, his diligence comes in handy in times like this. Let me know if you have any questions.
After you, Captain. Rest well, I hope?
Source is back. Here to report anything else? Really? To say a lot of people were there. The accounts we... What was your role in that? Sounds like maybe you're being modest. Security isn't exactly trained for that. The whole city is still on edge over the attack. We were fortunate. What was it like in the thick of things? Pure instinct. It sounds like New Atlantis. Heck, the whole Any closing comments? I already... That makes me feel better. Hey, Constellation? We use the word hero a lot in news.
Don't be nervous. You got this.
Easy for you to say, top of the class.
Infinity is huge. Like, staggeringly huge. They need people like you. I feel...
Can you imagine how many credits flow through this place? Figuratively, of course.
I had this graph job.
And you're certain that's what you saw?
Oh, yeah. He was wearing a flannel shirt underneath a trucker jacket.
It doesn't match the description from the functionary. And you said he was running away from the tram?
That's right. Oh, and he was carrying a book. A Tale of Two Cities.
Okay, just hold that thought one moment, sir. I need to speak with the captain.
Sure. There's a reward for this, right? Information leading to the capture?
Sir, just give me a moment with the captain, please. Thanks for taking this case, Captain. I realize your time is limited. Thanks, Captain. To be honest, I'm a little starstruck. I'll do my best to keep things professional. This was supposed to be a simple case. We got an attempted vandalism, a knocked-over bin, and a witness who called in to ID the suspect. We were about to head down to the well to apprehend the guy when this new witness comes forward with additional info. Just one problem. His story conflicts with the functionaries. Yes, sir. I was the one who took the call and reported it to Sergeant Yumi. Normally, we don't give this much weight to tipsters, but when it's a masked official, we tend to take them at their word. Yeah, and then apparently ran off and knocked over a recycling bin. The perp made a bigger mess running away than he did with the spray paint. He said it was some kid from the well. According to him, the vandal ran to the tram, knocked over the bin, and took the net to the spaceport. He also said he recognized the kid's face. ID'd him from security records and everything. Kid's name was, Tahir something. Sorry, Captain, I'm still new to this. I have it written down somewhere. Well, we got two witnesses with conflicting stories. So I'd like to go interview Functionary Gershon in person. Their office is at MAST, in the Interstellar Affairs Department. Affirmative. And as the higher-ranking officer, I'll let you take the lead, Captain.
The people of New Homestead need these supplies.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I'm riding the tram to Mast, and there was this working class guy sitting next to me. Trucker jacket, flannel shirt, the works.
Now, you'd think if you're about to commit a crime, you'd be a little less conspicuous, right? Try to, I don't know, blend in? Whatever. Anyway, I figure he's going to the spaceport to haul cargo or something. But instead, he gets off at the same stop. Now I'm really curious, but before I can ask him where he's going, he pulls out a can of spray paint and starts tagging away. So I yelled at him to stop, and that's when he bolted. Yeah, not every day you see one of those, so I got curious and took a peek. It was A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. My guess, he was using it as some sort of cover. Like, he gets you thinking he's some kind of brainiac, and UC security turns their heads. Then out of nowhere, bam! Crime time. I've watched a ton of detective serials, so I hate to break it to you, but some of us have jobs we need to go to. Besides, there were at least like 10 other people that saw him, so sue me for being a little late with my civic duty. Time to get back to it.
Excuse me.
What? The people of New Homestead need these supplies.
Ah, Captain, can I just say, it's a pleasure to meet the hero who stopped the terror. An Officer Markanin, was it? I see you're here as well.
We just need to go over your testimony again.
I apologize, but I can't right now. I have an important meeting. But I'd be happy to stop by UC Security later and speak with your sergeant. That wouldn't be the best use of your time, Captain. It's far too far. I have a much better solution to help you along in your... I encourage the both of you to check the information on my person. I have written a detailed description of the vandal, Wantahir Vala, a known criminal who should have everything you need to apprehend the thief. Now, if you'll
Well, Captain, what do you think? Is what the functionary said true? Is this kid from the well our vandal? You sure, Captain? I get we got conflicting testimonies, but the witness at the tram wasn't exactly reliable. If not the kid, then who? What? Really? Do you have proof? If the terminal doesn't have what you need, try checking around his desk. Why? Do you not have enough proof as it?
We're taking supplies to a new homestead. We don't have anything valuable. We're taking supplies to a new homestead. We don't have anything...
Well, Captain, what do you think? Is what the function... You sure, Captain? I get we got conflicting testimony, if not the kid. What? Okay, Captain. I don't know if it'll be enough, but I trust your... And if the functionary's the perp, that means he not only committed the crime, but tried to... If I can speak frankly, Captain, that really... The functionary said he was going to chat with Sergeant Yumi, right? Let's head back to UC Security and see if we can't...
You'll be scanned as you enter the city. Okay, no bounty. Clear.
Captain, there you are. I just finished giving a sworn statement.
Ah, Captain. Functionary Gershon was...
It's mostly repeating the documentation on my computer. To me? Don't be absurd, Captain. Surely this is a joke.
Functionary Gershon, you're under arrest for vandalizing the tram and an attempted frame-up. Depending on what you told the sergeant, we can probably add false testimony to the list.
Hold on. First off, these are very serious accusations, Captain. Are you sure you want to go down this road? More importantly, do you have any proof? Now, that is pretty damning. Old Earth books are very hard to come by. The odds of this witness naming that exact book and the functionary owning said book, that's a long shot. Unless, of course, he's the perp. I've gotten that sense myself at times. Most of his reports are complaints about that sector. Well, I've heard all I needed to hear. Functionary, do you have anything to say for yourself?
If you think I'm going to let you bring up these trumped-up charges...
That's enough. Officer Markkinen, please escort the functionary to the holding area.
You will be hearing from my lawyer, Captain. You can't do this! Your proof is circumstantial at best!
Don't worry, functionary. We're not putting you in jail quite yet. Unlike some people, We respect the rule of law.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, Sergeant. Expect to be demoted to desk duty by week's end.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Now, that was a shock. Next time, give me some warning before telling me my star witness is... Yeah, I know. I was just giving you a hard time. Your timing was actually perfect. Anyway, good work on this case. Functionary Gershon may talked up. It won't take long for him to crack. And hopefully, that means the end of his obsession with the... And, speaking of endings, I was going to mention this earlier, but I didn't want things to turn all sentimental in the middle of your investigation. With all the new recruits as of late, our staffing problems are no longer... Which means we've exhausted our need for a part-time security. That's the other reason. The high-ups prefer I don't use up all your bandwidth chasing down petty vandals. In any case, it was a pleasure on behalf of the entire UC Security Department. And if you ever need to talk or... How can I help you, Captain? Take care. Ah, if it isn't my... See you later.
Remember our last conversation, when you told me the artifacts made you feel like you would be... Well, it got me thinking. So I dove into our archives and started looking through constellations. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described, doesn't mean the same might have been true. Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Oh yes, absolutely. I didn't mean to compare. Those were just... Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation, and took me under her wing as her protege. Yeah, I thought so too. You know, Aja and I logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. Exactly. For me, there was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation that... At this point, I'd say you've graduated from proto... You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my... No, she retired. Living on... Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit. Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of her. You see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover. I don't know if I deserve to be that close to anyone right now. If you knew about the things that I've done, the way my life's unfolded, I think your opinion of me might change. Please, give me some time. I have to go. What can I help you with? Goodbye.
worry that I need sign-off from the Interstellar Affairs office before I can set foot in there.
Like, you gotta be kidding me. It's plumbing, not peace treaty.
It could cause an incident. It would mean my job, sir. Fine. I'll begin the process. Wouldn't want to withhold a chance for more red tape from the great UC.
Hard to believe it's been 2 decades since we were at war with the Collective, and it seems like only yesterday.
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
Visitors are...
I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Sounds like it was a real mess down at the spaceport. Official business? Talk to the ambassador. I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go? You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. You know that for sure. That is interesting.
Working on borrowed time, aren't we? I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement? Excellent. Follow me.
This building is Freestar sovereign territory. So in here, we're the law.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
Aquilus has seen so much. I'm really glad I can talk to him when I need to.
He's giving me a lot to think about.
Oh, hey, what's up?
isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy. Be more fascinating if its branches weren't blocking our way. Don't leave any of that behind.
find anything useful? Damn it! Totally lost them. No, I'm gonna go down.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty, eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge, and then silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Yeah, more time could be spent tidying, I suppose, but I entertain so few guests. And fewer welcome ones. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information then. On terrormorphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly? The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives, using its data to But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure...
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me. Let's hope it still works. Let it be used for good.
Is it really necessary for you to drag around all that gear?
I will not have House Varun be known only for slaughter. The affairs of House Varun are our own. They left. That is all there is to be said. House Varun committed itself to the armistice. This was said at the time to be the desire of the Great Serpent, and I do not believe the Serpent decides such... So, when my brethren left, I remained, honoring the Serpent's will as I... It was tolerable, even pleasant, when my brethren were here in the Empire. We remade this place as best we could into a home we all would recognize. With my brethren gone, it has been trying. But the Great Serpent is so much more than a god. When our founder, Jinan Varun, left the United Colonies 140 years ago for distant stars, it was the Serpent made us who we are today. Its voice speaks to us, shepherding us through the dark and infuses... We'll be so lucky next time.